Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to the comedy extravaganza that is The Adventures of E. Strap yourselves in because in this podcast we dive into hilarious personal stories, mishaps, and everyday life. From the awkward encounters at the grocery store to trying to adult in a world that seems determined to trip us up at every turn. So whether you're listening during your commute or just kicking back with a cup of coffee, get ready to laugh until your sides hurt. Here's your host, Elissa.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between. Tonight's a very special episode.
Oh, is it now?
It is now.
Oh, yeah.
Because I said so.
Oh, okay.
It really isn't. I just decided it.
Every episode I feel like is a special episode.
I'm a sweaty Betty. And also, I have a sniffle all of a sudden, guys. So if you hear me going, don't think anything about it.
Yeah, a little snuffle.
I'll try to turn.
A little snuffleumpagus action.
It's not lumpagus. Well, I mean, I am, but it's snuffleupagus.
Okay, fine.
Do you know what a snuffleupagus is?
No. What?
It is a mythological mammoth-type creature.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's all I got.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so what kind of craziness you got going on this week?
So I had an issue day before yesterday.
Okay.
So at the new place, they have these badges called SynTrack badges.
SynTrack.
Track.
Okay.
And they're really neat, but kind of not. It's kind of creepy at the same time.
Okay.
Because there's 3 buttons. There's a green, yellow, and a red. And you can call for assistance. Like if you're in a room with a patient and like they become violent.
Right.
You can hit that button and it'll send a message to the nurse's station. Well, also with their updated fancy schmancy stuff, if you go into a room where like your call light's going off, it automatically shuts it off.
Okay.
And it'll
say...
So
it's like proximity, like it senses.
Yeah, and then there's like these boards, but they're all like little electronic monitors outside the patient's room that it'll say like, staff member Elissa RN last in the room. Well, mine won't do that. And
Really?
I can't figure out why. Like it'll show sometimes that I'm in the room, but it won't say my name.
But like, do you think that's because like you're a newer employee or something?
I don't know. So it's been like that. So I was sitting in the bathroom of ICU and I see a big picture about the SynTrack badges, like how you always have to wear them. And basically they are recording where you're at all the time.
Right, yeah. So it's not like you're going to sneak off into a closet and take a nap or anything like
that.
Yeah.
Right. So it said like, I have to pull up the picture because I don't remember exactly what it said.
Okay.
So bear with me here because I'm real dumb.
Oh, stop it.
I am when it comes to this. This was so stupid. Okay, it says yellow equals activate/cancel the alert.
Okay.
Green is for security and red is a rapid response.
Okay.
Well, mine's not working. So my ADHD brain read that wrong. Like to activate it, I thought you're supposed to hold the yellow button. It's my first day in ICU, by the way.
To activate it as in like, oh, it's not working, so I need to activate it and turn it on.
That's how I read it.
Oh.
That was not correct.
Oh.
I hold the yellow button and we have to carry iPhones. Mm-hmm. So like everybody can text or these activations go to the phones. So everybody knows like there's, a call in room, whatever.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that as I'm putting my phone down.
It's okay.
So I hold down the yellow button, and next thing I know, my phone goes off. That there is an alert in the whole bathroom, and it's me.
So
I realized that was not to activate it, so I'm trying to hit the yellow button again to cancel it.
Gotcha.
So I rush out to the nurse's station, and I cancel the alarm code because it wouldn't shut off. So my preceptor said, I figured you were all right because I knew you were in the bathroom. And I was like, yeah, my pen hit my badge and it must have made it go off. Like, I didn't know. I was like fast thinking. And I didn't want to
trying to navigate around
and
it.
I didn't want to look real dumb, you know?
How do I not fuck this up?
And not look super stupid on my first day in ICU. Right. So I'm like, yeah. So after the few days that we had, I think she realized like that was probably not accurate.
And that's something you would do?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is they're learning your personality.
Well,
very
I told
quickly.
her.
Oh, okay.
I told her eventually. I was like, I just want you to know that I read that as activate, and that's why I held down the button. She just started laughing. Yeah. She did nothing else for me.
I mean, why wouldn't you laugh? I mean, that's the obvious response to be like, all right.
So I sent Lacey a text, and I want to read it because it was like in the moment.
Okay.
He's going to kill me, everybody, because I am making way too much noise today.
It's all right. I'm the fixer. I fix things.
You do, actually. My life, I don't know.
Whatever.
All the things. I said, yesterday I'm sitting here in the bathroom, and my Centrac badge will not work, and I'm like, oh, I have to hold the activation button to get it to work. And then the alarms start going off, what I just told you. And I sent her a picture of the badge, like of the actual sign.
Yeah.
She said, I actually did it on purpose. Now I realize it means to activate a call, not the badge. It took me over 24 hours to figure that out. And she just put laugh my fucking ass off with like multiple O's.
Right. And rightfully so. I mean, the next time she comes on, she'll probably compartmentalize that and store that in the back of her mind, and she'll come after you for that.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to come after you for it.
Well, I told her, I said, I'm just going to set this up here very easily.
Okay.
Or not so much. I told her, I said, I'm concerned. I called her on my way home last night. I said, I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, why? And I said, so I'm on my, third unit now, and I have yet to really actually meet somebody like me.
Right.
And what I mean by that, like me, like not super quiet, outspoken,
right.
Tattoos. Like, even when I'm not being loud and in your face, I feel like I'm loud and in your face, regardless, just because of who I am as a person.
I could see that. I could see the interpretation.
And how I look and those kinds of things. And I'm like, I haven't met anybody like me, and that worries me so much.
But why?
Because where I came from, there were so many people with personalities similar to mine that I didn't feel like if I screwed up, I would be the one to stand out, or if I said something that maybe was a little off color or whatever, like it wouldn't just stand out in everybody's mind. Well, now I haven't met anybody. I've met people there with tattoos, but not like sleeves.
Right.
And so now I'm afraid like I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb, and then my jokes and everything on top of it. And this is why.
Okay. Lay it on.
So let's reel it back. I had a patient, and I was doing the admission, and everything was going good. Super nice. Like, you can tell, like, older, like, hardworking, like, farm type, like, that kind of man.
Right.
And his family was there, and they were Pentecostal, and that's fine. So he has a gown on. I'm like, honey, do you want me to help you take off your shoes and get comfortable? And he looks at me dead in the face and goes, not unless you want to take my legs with them.
What?
And I stopped. And I go, I'm sorry, what?
Do what?
I said, I know that your left leg is amputated.
Yeah.
But you're telling me now they both are? And he said, yeah. I said, Lieutenant Dane, you ain't got no legs.
Oh, Jesus.
They all started laughing. And then I was like, look, I have to tell you this story. This is where it tumbles downhill always.
Yeah, it's going to go into an HR nightmare very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said the first time, like, on an actual outing, like, with my now husband at the time we were dating, we went to a flea market.
Yep.
I said...
And it was you, me, and the kid, and he was, like, 8 years old at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the second time we'd ever been out together.
No, I think that was the first time.
Was that the first?
Yeah, I think that was the first time I'd met
I couldn't
him.
remember.
Yeah.
So I rounded the corner, and there was this booth. And there was a prosthetic leg standing in the booth with a shoe on, remember?
Yep.
And I stopped because you weren't quite caught up with me yet. And I stopped and
I was meandering. I was looking at things.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I go, Lieutenant Dane, you forgot your leg. And you said, I remember you just doing this.
Yep, just drop the head.
And then what'd you say to me, like, way years later on after that?
Honestly, as soon as you said that, like, it just kind of triggered in me that I was like, I knew I was going to marry you. Like, I knew.
That's what did it? That's what sealed the deal? It wasn't the Tinder tag?
No, it wasn't
Which
the Tinder
was really
tag.
good, by the way.
It was decent. It was a solid 7.5, 8. Yeah, out of 10. It was solid.
Okay, sir, if you thought it was only a 7.5 or an 8, then why did you marry me?
Well, because I didn't marry you for your Tinder tag.
You should have thought that was a fucking 12 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Like 12 out of 10 recommend.
Oh, okay.
Not 7.5 or
Well,
8.
I won't recommend you because you're mine. Like, I can't recommend you to others. I'm just saying.
You didn't have to go there. That's not how I meant it.
Little odd there. Just
Out of
saying.
all the things, that's what was odd.
Well, you know.
You got to get your priorities straight.
I did. That's why I married you.
I don't know about straight, but they're definitely wonky now.
Yeah, that is true. I won't deny that.
So that was the first one where my preceptor like snickered and had to like leave the room.
Gotcha.
And I was like, I need to be careful.
Yeah.
God dang it.
You keep bumping into stuff.
I have hit everything. And I don't know if it's because I'm nervous.
But why would you be nervous? We do the podcast every week.
Because this time it's a little different.
Why?
Because there's cameras here.
Yeah, there are cameras.
I couldn't just roll up, my hair in a bun, no makeup on.
Nope, a little bit of presentation.
No brassiere on.
Brassiere.
He made me fully get dressed, and I'm like, this is some bullshit.
Oh, I mean, you don't have to. I'm just saying.
I can't be walking around on camera looking like Jabba the Hutt.
I swear. I don't know what I'm going to do with you. Anyways, continue on. Sidetrack. Yeah.
So my second patient he was on a vent, but he was a trach. He had a trach.
Gotcha. So he's with it, kind of.
He was with it.
Yeah.
He can't really talk, and that's fine. But
right, because he's got a trach. And...
Yeah. So this man, he just pushed my buttons all day long.
Like just got under your skin?
Yeah, and like he would mouth things to me and I'd be like, look, I'm really bad at this. I'm trying, like, bear with me. And he would just get so pissed at me every time when I didn't understand exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
But I'm not a lip reader. Like, I'm already deaf.
Well,
I can't see.
How can you read somebody's lips that has a fucking trach anyways? Like,
because it's in their it's right here.
Well, but how would you even really, like, move with a trach?
They can move their mouth.
Can they?
Yeah, because it's
I don't know. I've never had a trach.
Yeah, it's a surgical piece that's in your, like, trachea, like, in your throat.
Okay. All right.
So then he starts telling me all of a sudden at the end of the shift that he can see ghosts and demons.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, well, this took a wrong turn.
That definitely took a wrong turn.
So I was walking out of
That went south real quick.
I walked out of his room and there was another guy in the room that was the same way, trach to vent, trying to mouth words, but he was a lot of teeth and a lot of mouth.
Yeah. So
there wasn't a whole lot of enunciation, so I was really struggling, and so was the other nurse. So she was like, can you please come in here and help me? So I go in there and I'm like, you've got the worst person in here trying to do this. So he's mouthing words and I'm like, I get one letter and I'm like, leg? Your leg hurts? No, that wasn't it. And then, so like, I'm like, your foot hurts? No. And then like, I'm trying, and I'm like, I'm just so frustrated, and he's frustrated, and I feel bad because I'm not understanding. So finally, I'm like, is it your mouth? Like, and
you're just like grasping at straws.
I'm just grasping at straws. And I looked at him and I said, this is the worst game of charades I've ever played. And he started, like, not laughing because he doesn't make noise, but he was smiling.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
The nurse had to walk out because she was going to laugh so hard. And I was like, this is what's going to get me in trouble, is these kinds of comments.
You know, but honestly, just real quick, before we kind of move on, like, do you think that maybe they're just kind of intimidated by you? Because you got to think you're coming from a previous background with extensive history in ICU and extensive history.
They don't know that.
You know, but I mean, word travels, you know, if you've talked to anybody or anything along those lines. But do you also think that maybe they're trying to wait and see kind of who you are, just to kind of maybe understand a little bit more? Maybe there is a little bit of a level of intimidation, so to speak.
I mean, that's always a possibility, but I feel like if you just talk to me for a few minutes, you realize, like, I am the least intimidating person. But what's interesting is I was talking to some of the girls that I had worked with previously in my previous ICU, and a lot of them were like, I was so intimidated by you the first time I met you. And I'm like, why?
Right.
Like, really, why? And I was actually talking to a girl yesterday that I used to work with. She called me and she was like, yeah, it was your face. Like, you always looked mad. And I'm like, I have RBF and I never realized it.
I mean,
is that possible?
It's
I feel like I would
possible.
know it by now.
You would think, but you also kind of have a very, when you present yourself, like you present professional and you don't have a ton of facial expression initially when you're meeting somebody. It's not like you're overly like, oh my God, hi. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's accurate.
You're a little bit quieter and just more observant.
I
think
really
is a
am,
good
especially
word.
in a new area and a new location, because I want to understand the processes and how every team works together in a certain way.
Right.
And it takes a while to find your fit in that teamwork. And so I'm going to step back and observe where I can fit into this equation.
Right.
That's who I am as a person.
Yeah, and that's not a bad way to do it. I mean, it allows you to learn and grow.
Well, it's been better for me in the past than just, going all gung-ho, which I think is good.
Love me, I'm your best friend.
Well, I also told Lacey, I said, I haven't made any friends yet. Like, that's how different I feel.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, I'm sure they'll come around. And I was like, clearly, I'm not forcing myself on them hard enough. And she was like, LOL.
Yeah, that's really where you need to go, is just get a little more forceful with them. Like, you will be my friend.
Well, I did that with Lacey.
Yeah, and she's your bestie.
I know. But she's a lot like me, though, too.
Yeah, but you don't know anybody really well enough yet to see if they're really like you or not.
Well, that's true. And I was talking to my previous crew about this when it came up. And a couple of them were like, yeah, you intimidated me. When you get report, you're like, are they a full coat or not? And I'm like,
I don't know.
I didn't do it on purpose. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
So
on your drive, are you seeing anything new? Have you come across anything new?
I have.
Okay, do tell.
It hit me. Like, when I saw it out of nowhere. I was like, oh. So, the house with the cat statue? Well,
Yeah.
the mobile home with the cat statue? They have now put a dog that's the size of the cat on the other side of the driveway, and it has its hands perched up on a concrete ball.
Now, is it the same like kind of style, like that Japanese style or
No,
whatever?
it looks like a regular,
Just a regular old dog.
like a terrier of some sort. It's just brown with
Okay.
a blue ball.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of basic compared to the cat, but it's the same size, which I felt interesting.
So I want to come back. Like, is the trailer nice?
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's well taken care of.
it's nice. I wouldn't, like, they cut their grass, but they definitely don't weed eat. That type,
Okay.
like,
They try.
they're probably
Yeah.
really busy with work, would be
Right,
my
yeah.
guess. And that's just,
Well, yeah, they got to spend all that money and make all that money to put the concrete
put the
statues.
concrete out there, man.
Yeah. Shit,
But
that's
other
expensive.
than that, I mean, it's not, like, trashy or anything.
Well, because I'm just trying to like picture this in my head. Like, is it like a super shitty trailer, but then these super nice like topiary statues and all this
No.
other stuff, or is
No.
it just kind of like that intermix of like when you like my great grandparents lived in a double wide, towards the end of their life up in Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
and it was super super nice.
Mhm.
Like it was
Some of them are.
and it was in a mobile home park.
Mm-hmm.
It was extremely well taken care of. I mean, manicured lawn.
I think that's
I mean,
awesome.
the roses, just everything.
Yeah.
Right. But, it gave me that vibe. Like, that's where I'm trying to visualize. Is it more of like that, like super nice, like maybe it's an older couple that just like that's their hobby. They grow statues essentially. They don't grow plants,
don't
they grow
know.
statues.
My guess would be, if I was a guessing gal, they're probably mid to late 50s.
Okay. So on the older spectrum, getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, they still work hard,
Yeah.
and they're probably at work all the time.
Work hard
For the money.
Yeah.
So hard for you, honey.
Right.
Okay. I have sang way too much tonight.
That's all right. I mean, it's no big deal. We enjoy your voice. Everybody does. I mean, that's why they listen to the podcast. I mean, that's why we have more followers now.
I don't know that that's it, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it. So I wanted to bring up something now that I've had my birthday that I've noticed. How expensive it is to be a woman and how aggressive those commercials are attacking me, myself, and I.
What do you mean? Like,
So now that I'm getting older, I have been around, obviously, a lot of women that I don't know recently.
mhm.
And a lot of them have been younger, which, whatever. Good for them. But they're all talking about getting Botox and stuff. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't get it.
Like you're 22 and you're talking about getting Botox.
Yeah, like, I think every person, by the way, in the world should do whatever makes them feel good about
For
themselves.
sure. Yeah.
If it's Botox, go for it. But this is what I do not agree with. I do not agree with companies or products pushing, that really came out really aggressive, pushing towards women that make them feel bad to get said product. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. It basically like subconscious manipulation of, oh, you don't look pretty enough if you don't use our product kind of thing.
And I think that that's perpetuating in the media, and that bothers me a little bit.
And I can see that. Yeah, I can understand that.
So the Botox commercials, they're like, do you see fine lines and wrinkles? And I'm like, bitch, I've seen these for 20 years.
Right.
Like, it ain't new.
Like, I had fine lines and wrinkles when I was like 19.
I had this crater in my forehead when the man-child was 4.
Yeah.
And I was 25.
Right.
Like, come on.
Our bodies naturally age and change.
Right.
And,
not that I'm against Botox. I've gotten it twice for my migraines. Not that it matters, medical or not. I'm actually talking about getting certified to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I need some lip filler. Like, I need
trying to get them DSLs? Who you trying to DSL?
You.
I don't have no dick.
Well, no. Oh, my God.
That's what they're called.
Yeah,
Dick sucking lips.
No
Did
shit.
you
I know
that?
what they're called. Yes, I know what they're called.
I wasn't sure when you were like, I'm going to get some.
It was a joke.
It was a weird joke.
I know. I made it weird.
You definitely made it weird. It wasn't me this time. It was you.
Oh, how the turntables turn.
Oh, my God.
So anyways, as far as, the expenses and those types of things associated with it, like, what are your thoughts? You'd kind of made mention of that.
Like, what do you mean? What are you asking?
Well, I mean, you were saying how you'd kind of mentioned previously to me how expensive it's getting.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Because, okay, if you look at getting Botox, because I was talking to some of the girls who are getting it, which, again, like I said, more power to them.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how much does it cost these days? Just out of curiosity. One of them told me it was like $10 per unit, and that was on sale.
And so how many units?
And that's what I asked her. I said, so how many units did it take? And she was like, I think I got 10. So that's.
Okay.
No, she got more than that. She got 30, I think, is what she told me.
$300.
Yeah, and I'm just like.
For one.
It lasts 6 to 8 weeks.
For one dose.
For 6 to 8 weeks. For $300. That just, to me, doesn't seem.
For a temporary fix.
It doesn't seem worth it to me, personally. That is
right.
Personal right now. I don't see that it's worth it for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, the cost-benefit ratio to it. Like, if I look at it from a mathematical, like, logical sense, like, that wouldn't make sense.
No.
Because your body's going to continue to age.
Mm-hmm. And
you're going to continue to throw 6 to 8 weeks worth of temporary fix on it at $300 a pop.
And that's just, what if you need more? Because eventually you're going to need more.
Yeah, it's going to go up as your body continues to age.
Well, you're going to need more in different places,
right.
too. So at what point do we say, yeah, this makes me feel better to a certain extent, but is it worth it?
Right.
And I also look at some of the people whose bodies rejected it.
Mm-hmm.
And that also makes me think, how do I really feel about, like, injecting things in my body?
Right.
That I don't really know where it came from.
Right. COVID vaccines. But anyways, I digress.
Oof.
Yeah. Anyways.
He took it too far.
Nah, we're just saying what everybody's thinking. But anyways. I mean, shit'll buff out.
The only difference is we said it.
Yeah, we actually said it. I don't give a shit.
We did say it. It did happen. Anyways. What you got for me today?
So, we have had more adventures in the babysitting of the elderly dementia employee that I have. Yes. He is my employee. The interesting thing is, he's been at my work for 53 years. 53 years.
Was he 10 when he started?
No, he's almost 80. Like, he's 70.
He don't look it.
Yeah, no, he looks healthy. Mm-hmm. His brain is definitely not healthy.
Mm-mm.
So I have another coworker. She is actually a morning radio host, and she is there super early.
Yeah. She's a fly on crack, by the way.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, though.
Which I've totally told her to her face.
Love her to death. She's hilarious. She is definitely a squirrel.
Oh,
like crazy.
She makes my ADHD worse.
Yeah, she's
like
all
I
over
can't
the place.
be around her at all.
She is all over the place. Like I had to record a spot today, and she was doing the production and editing. And finally, I just looked at her and I said, "Hey, I'll do it. Let me just edit it.
Just walk away.
Just walk away for a second because it was driving me nuts. She was all over the place.
Go away."
So, anyways, she was expressing, because usually when I come in the morning, like I come into my office, I get things going and kind of get my day started. And then I usually will go out, smoke a cigarette, and just kind of wake up a little bit more because, 45-minute drive, obviously,
Yeah.
you get a little tired after that drive. So you kind of have to re-wake up a little bit.
See, it doesn't wear me out on the way there, but it does on the way home.
Yeah, see, for me on the way there, like I get like kind of groggy getting there because I get up early, obviously, and I spend so much time at the house kind of preparing for the day and whatnot. Then I sit in the truck and drive for 45 minutes, and I'm just like, oh, I could use a nap now. But so yeah, I go out and smoke a cigarette. Usually they'll come out, and the other DJs and stuff like that, they'll come out and hang out with me, and we'll talk and kind of catch up, see how the morning's been going. So my elderly employee / coworker, he does like the news reports and the sports reports and those types of things that air at 7:30 in the morning. Okay. That's the biggest reason he's coming in right now. He's coming in, he's doing those sports reports and getting on air, recording them. And then he just hangs out for like 3 or 4 hours after that.
Oh.
Yeah. So, he can't do anything else. He can't drive right now. All that's been revoked. So when I come in, she comes out and is like freaking out. She's like, "Oh my God, I got to tell you something."
No.
And I'm like, "What? What's going on? What fire do I have to put out this morning before?"
What has already started?
Yeah,
before
the
I
days
even got there.
even started. What fire do I already have to put out? So we go outside and we start talking, and she's like, "You'll never guess what happened." I'm like, "No, I won't guess."
You're like, "Try me, bitch."
I won't guess. I won't guess. Just tell me.
I'm not gonna guess.
I'm kind of an asshole sometimes.
No.
But so I'm like, "So what's going on?" And she was like, "Well, so-and-so came into the studio this morning." I said, "Okay. Was everything all right? I know he's been struggling a little bit, with speech and that kind of stuff." And she's like, "Yeah, no, that was fine." What wasn't fine is the fact that he came in his normal work clothes. I saw him come in, go to his office. He then came back to the other side of the station and came into my studio and asked me to take a picture of him. And I said, "Okay, that's a little random, but why do you,
Okay.
And she was like, no, you don't understand. He had changed." I said, "Oh, okay. What do you mean he'd changed?" He came down in a full dress, pantyhose, heels, and a set of pearls, and wanted to have his picture taken at 6:45 in the morning.
Now wait. I'm gonna need you to back that truck up, Terry.
Back it up, Terry.
The reason I'm backing up is the first story you told us, myself included.
Yes.
He wore pantyhose, and I questioned that. And
Yeah.
you're like, "I don't know. He does it every day." Do you think he's secretly been a crossdresser for all these years?
I don't know. I don't know if he has
the
been
Bruce
for
Jenner
years.
of your office.
I don't know if he has been for years. I don't know if it's something dementia related.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. But so she explains this to me, and I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right. So this is interesting." Well, I go back to my office, which is kind of right next to his, basically. And he's dressed up. He's in his normal pants.
Oh, okay. He wasn't in his dress anymore.
No. And
I was really hoping he was.
And I asked her, I said, "Why, before I went back there, I was like, why didn't you take a picture?" She was like, "Well, I didn't know if it was appropriate." I was like, "No, you need to take the picture so we have some kind of evidence." I'm like, this man clearly needs to retire and enjoy his twilight years. Like, we're at that point now where if these things are happening,
I'm sorry, we're past that point.
Yeah, like it's like weird, but get this, like, so he's obviously been revoked from driving. Oh. His license has been revoked by the doctor. He's been shut down, which is horrible for this guy because he's a man about town.
I know he was.
And he's a city councilman. Like he's
a big guy. He's a big wig, basically.
Yeah, he's a big wig. Like he knows people, has known tons of people in the community, like just all over the place, right? So his driving privileges got revoked. And we have found out from his wife and from his son that he is deciding to just walk everywhere. So he will literally walk across town. He's
Like,
almost
how
80
many
years
miles are we talking?
4 or 5. And
Solid.
we'll just leave the house and be like, oh yeah, I want to go run some errands, and he will leave.
He will literally run.
Yeah.
For those errands.
Yeah, he will leave and just walk and go do these things.
I shouldn't laugh because that's going to end up being me, but you got to give him, like, he's got some chutzpah.
Yeah, but there's one
dresses.
final detail that I found out about today.
Oh, no, what?
Because his son actually stopped in.
Oh, I just want to put my head on my microphone like this.
His son stopped in.
I just mushroom stamped myself.
And then
It happened.
maybe later. Anyways, son comes in and explains that the walking across town is a commonplace thing, considering he drove by him the other day and his wife drove by him the other day. But the interesting part was he was walking down the street in a skirt and a sweatshirt and flip-flops. Yeah.
Did they stop him? Did
Nope.
they pick him up? Did
Nope.
they make him go home and change?
Nope.
Did you ask, hey, has he been doing this for years?
Nope.
You didn't even ask?
Nope. At some point in time.
Jason.
At some point in time, I don't want to know.
I want to know. I have questions that you have to answer for me.
No, I don't want to know.
This is no longer about you. It's about me. We need to know how long this has been going on. I need the scoop, poop.
Well, I know that there is a picture floating around the station somewhere of him wearing drag from like a party in the 80s.
Oh, it was probably a joke. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how
from a
this all
party back in
started.
the 80s,
Was
yeah.
in the 80s.
Yeah, who knows? So yeah, that's what's been going on.
Excuse me.
So we
Oh, you got a drag queen in the house.
yeah. Oh, and what else fun did we do last week? Dun, da, da, da. You and I were in the 4th of July parade.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, you got the bullhorn.
I did, but I learned how free I could not be with the bullhorn.
To a degree.
So I decided it was best that I not get it out.
Well, when you didn't have good crowd response for some reason.
None. There
None.
was zero.
They
And
were
I
weird.
mean, I was funny. I was on point.
Yeah. I mean, the dad bod stuff, that got some laughs.
Yeah, but like still, it was only like here and there.
Yeah. It was like super awkward.
It was not. They were not
and
my target audience, obviously.
And the interesting thing was, and this is what kind of blows my mind with society in general, is like we were in station vehicles. We were throwing candy out on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, huge parade.
Yeah.
Huge parade, right? We're at the front basically with the grand marshals and everything else with our
Yeah.
station vehicles, and we've got people walking and we're throwing candy. We're handing out like tickets to events and museums and like all kinds of like family 4-pack, like fun stuff for families to go and do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many I tried to hand out,
And they said no.
and they didn't want them.
Yeah, I know. And I was like,
What?
well, first of all, let's back it up. This is not a rich city that this was done in.
No.
by the
Small
way.
town America.
It was very
Yeah.
small town, and I'm not saying anything bad because I grew up in a small town.
No,
but the
it's a
whole
cute
point
little
was
town.
is when you tried to hand it to them, and they were not rich people.
No.
And they're like, no, we don't want it. I was like,
Yeah. It was
I was like,
super
you're rude.
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 Yeah.
Like, ma'am, you don't get to dictate what you want and what you don't want. I handed it to you. If you don't want it, give it away.
Yeah.
But fine, I'll take it back.
Yeah, it was very interesting to
It
see
made me
that
angry when they did
societal dynamic, you know?
Like, so when I moved to Anderson from where I grew up,
Mm-hmm.
I told you how surprised I was, especially when I started working where I worked, how surprised I was at these were some of the poorer people I have met in my career.
I mean, yeah.
But I have never met such a group of poor people that felt like they were so entitled
Yes.
until the other day about the tickets. And
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, there were some good tickets like to local Indiana amusement parks.
Yeah, like not cheap. These were like $40, $50 a piece tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we were handing out 4-packs for a family to go. Hell, when we saw a family of like 8 or 10, we would hand out a couple.
Yeah.
You know,
And-
so we were throwing hundreds of dollars at them essentially to go and have a good time.
Yeah. And they said no.
Yeah.
I'm perplexed by that thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of blew me away, honestly. And it made me lose not a ton of faith in humanity,
But a little.
just a smidgen.
Yeah, it was like a little ink blot on the day. Like, it kind of was already a dreary day here.
Yeah, I mean,
On
it was
4th of July.
Yeah, it was rainy and shitty.
Yeah, and so we're out there, and it was overstimulation city for me, first of all.
Yeah. I mean, thousands upon thousands of people.
Terrible.
I mean,
for
we're
me.
literally driving down a 2-lane street, and it's wide enough for a single vehicle to go down, right? And you've got people packed on both sides, little kids
for miles.
throwing candy out at the curbs, and they're picking the candy up. The kids are running in front of vehicles and floats and cars and people and like all this other stuff. So you have to be on your A game and be paying attention at all times.
Yeah.
And
It was draining.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot.
It was a lot of peopling. And as soon as we were done, I was like this.
Yeah.
Like my people
like we
got
drove
split
home
up. Almost
that.
in silence.
Yeah, because it was just so draining.
We were both so freaking tired.
Our social batteries were drained.
Oh, for sure. And you and I have comfortable silence. Like, it's not ever uncomfortable.
No.
So I was just like.
Yep. You like kind of closed your eyes for a few. I was listening to the radio.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
We were done.
Yeah, done.
Completely.
So yeah, it was just, that was kind of an interesting experience, especially for what my company kind of has done for the local community, like a lot of give backs.
Now, don't get me wrong. There were a lot of people that were very appreciative of the tickets.
Yes,
very.
yes.
But the few, that's what ruins it for everybody.
Is the few of the many.
The few of them that were rude.
Yeah.
Like, that does make people think, maybe we shouldn't give them anything for free anymore. And then it just ruins it for everybody.
Right.
And that kind of bothers me. I hate that for other people.
Yeah, because it tarnishes, the goodness that people want to give out. Because, like we always say, like I'm an asshole, and oddly enough, like I feel like this job change and what I'm doing now has opened up a little bit more of my like want to give back, want to do more for people kind of side.
Well, you become less of an asshole with this job.
Yeah.
In a good way, not a bad way. Not that you were ever mean before, don't get me wrong.
I mean, good asshole, bad asshole,
but
whatever.
like, you're in this job, you're allowed to bring out your asshole a little bit more, like kind of jokingly.
Right.
And I think that kind of takes the edge off a little bit.
Not so professional all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I think that's been very good for you.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a huge change of mental health wise and stress wise and everything else. I mean, yeah, every job has their stressful moments and stuff like that, but I think it's been a positive change. So
I think it has been for sure, being on the outside and looking in.
Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah, because you have to deal with me.
Oh, and boy, do I know.
Yeah. But hey, at least I'm setting things up, so all you have to do is show up and,
But now I have to put on a bra and I have to put on makeup. And I have to fix my face.
Couple little things. It's okay. It's okay.
Does this body look like a little thing?
Oh,
this is a lot of work, man.
Stop it.
We already talked about how prices are increasing, like for Botox and shit.
Well, yeah, and I thought when you were talking about expenses as you were getting older, I was like, shit, are you trying to buy more expensive purses now, or
Yes.
no?
That is always a yes.
No. Because I already know I know it's coming.
Yo, Chanel, give me a.
Oh yeah, I don't think they sponsor like anybody.
No.
Nor does like Louis Vuitton
No.
or Gucci or
No.
anybody like that. They don't give a shit. Now, Coach, you might be able to get a sponsor.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it, but
I doubt it. Liquid Death, Monaco, hit me up.
yeah. Red Bull flavors.
Red Bull.
Even though I don't need it.
I don't either.
Yeah, blood sugar for days. My condition, as my coworker, my employee states, he calls it my condition.
Well, I have a heart problem, so I'm really.
We thought I did too, yeah.
Yeah, well, I do actually.
Yeah.
I was actually diagnosed with one, sir.
Fine.
Let's make it about me.
Yeah, it's all about you.
Always.
God, it's your podcast.
It always is.
God.
It's our podcast. You know that.
I'm just the production value. I'm the producer. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You don't do anything else.
Nah.
Whatever.
Whatever. So anything else you want to touch on this week or that you can think of that's been fun, exciting, crazy? I see the gears turning.
I really don't think so.
No?
Unfortunately.
I know you did a 4-day stint back to back.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And this is my first day off.
Yeah.
Since the 4 days.
So not only are you physically tired and mentally tired, your social batteries are very drained too.
Very.
Yeah.
I've peopled for.
Yeah. You've peopled enough for a minute.
For like a month.
Yeah.
Really.
But yeah, you go back to work, what, in a day or two?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I don't want to talk about it.
you'll just turn it around. It'll be fine. So, before we go, I'm going to ask you the question you asked me the other day.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that already.
Yeah. So, you asked me the other day how much I would pay, or what is the one act or band that you would pay any amount of money to see in concert?
The reason it is it got started, we were talking about it at work on Sunday.
Okay.
And one of the guys I was working with, he was a nurse, was talking about how they paid $1,000, I think, a piece for Taylor Swift concert tickets.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And they were like not even the greatest of seats. And I was just like, I don't think there's not one band out there that I would be willing personally to pay an exorbitant amount of money for, me.
Yeah.
But there are some bands that I would be willing to pay that kind of money for you or mom to go see.
Right, yeah.
And that's one thing. But for myself, it's not something I would spend my money on personally. Like, I like going to concerts.
Stupid amount of money.
Yeah, I like going to concerts, $50, $60 tickets, whatever. That's fine. But I'm not paying thousands of dollars for tickets. I think the one time I entertained $1,000 per ticket when I was looking for you to go to Metallica when they came to Indianapolis, and they were over $1,000 a piece.
Yeah,
and they were literally in the nosebleed section.
Well,
no joke.
Here, about almost 20 years ago, I had an opportunity. Had an Amex card that had like the special passes and like you could get the backstage, all the cool shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
For like concerts and events and whatnot. And I got notified that Metallica was like coming to Chicago, and I was living in Iowa at that point in time. So it was only like a 7-8 hour drive. Like, so it wasn't that bad. Just make a weekend of it and whatnot. And I was like, all right, cool. They're going to have like great seats. It's through American Express. Like, they have all these cool things. And then I looked at the concert ticket pricing. It was $1,900 per ticket.
Per person. Oh my gosh. Per person.
And it didn't even come with the backstage passes. It didn't come with any of that.
Like a parking pass.
It came with a parking pass, and it was like a lower deck seating. So like you weren't in like the pit right by Metallica, but you were like that first or second row up above. And
that might get smashed.
Yeah, and in like a box seat kind of thing. Yeah. So you were separated. You had your own private space, which was cool.
I would hope for that much money you would.
Yeah, for almost $4,000.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I can't justify that. Like, I was obviously very young at that point in time, and I'm like, I'm not going to justify spending $4,000 to go see Metallica. But at this point in my life, obviously there's been growth financially and all those other things. So we're in a place where, you know what, if a ticket came across,
if we wanted to do it, we could.
There was like $1,000, and we absolutely really did want to go, we can do it.
Right.
I mean, it's not necessarily the smartest financial choice, but it's also, when else would you potentially have the opportunity?
Right.
And it's what my grandparents always taught me. My grandfather, who just recently passed away, like he was a very big proponent of, you don't buy things, you don't spend your money frivolously, but you pay for experiences.
And that is one really amazing life lesson that I have learned since being with you.
Yeah. That
they taught you, and also in turn have taught me.
Right.
Is I am willing to pay money for vacations and experiences, because those are memories that we're going to have forever.
Right.
Versus something like a phone, that's good right now, but technology always changes, you know?
I mean, honestly, we're recording some of this video on like 10-year-old iPhones.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm using what we have at our disposal because I'm not going to go out and spend $300, $400, $500, $600 on each camera to do some kind of recording. It makes no sense. Yeah.
And also, like, we're not there yet.
Yeah,
in
we're doing
this whole
for
process.
Fun. Yeah.
But that is a really amazing life lesson I have learned.
Yeah.
And I really try, like, when we go on vacations, because I used to be really terrible about that when we would go on vacation. Remember? I'd be like, we shouldn't go out to eat all the time.
Yeah.
Or we shouldn't do this, or we probably shouldn't do that. And you'd be like, finally you would stop and look at me and say, well, are we going to do this back home?
Yeah.
Well, no.
Are we going to get the opportunity to do this again this year?
And so that changed the way I looked at things. And I was willing to spend the extra whatever money to do adventures or experiences or dinner somewhere that we really wanted to go to.
Right.
We finally learned how to pick and choose too, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, life lessons, good life lessons. I think we should probably wrap on a positive note.
Life lessons with Elissa.
Yeah.
That's always a good idea.
All the lessons. So we'll wrap on that note. I want to say thank you to everybody, all the new additional followers and everything, and the content sharing. And we know that we've been kind of posting up some little video clips and stuff. We're kind of testing some things and figuring some things out to try and make it so that the show becomes a lot more visible for everybody and a lot easier to
and a little more
to
interactive
enjoy.
to a certain extent, obviously. And we have plans for guests coming in the future.
Yep.
We have lots of people who want to come on. We just have to get it scheduled. And right now, with me being in orientation, my schedule is not super flexible.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been a little hitch in the plans.
Yeah,
But
a little hit and miss.
we've gotten over it. We're still, trucking along.
Yep, that's right.
Just keep moving. Just keep moving.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Yep.
Yep.
So anyways.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for another week. I can't wait to talk to you next week about whatever weird shit I get myself into.
Yeah, because there's going to be some.
And we always. And we appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us for however long.
Yeah.
And I hope you have a good day.
Yeah. So we out.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Make sure to share and like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Adventures of E, and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@Adventures of E. See you next time.